over there. Now the opium production's off the charts. You don't think the CIA or the contractors would be doing something with that drug money?
Soon we'll be shutting our doors and windows, shutting out fresh air for months. Did you know you're also keeping in allergens, bacteria, and germs that cause colds and flu? What if there was a low-cost way of blanketing your home with clean air? There is. Introducing the AirOasis 3000 Air Purifier. It utilizes new patent-pending nanotechnology, producing a blanket of oxidizers that cleans the air and sanitizes the surfaces. Imagine not spreading the cold or flu bug to everyone around you. AirOasis 3000 Air Purifiers are made in the USA, come with a 3-year warranty, have no filters to replace, no grids to clean, and require no maintenance for 3 years. Try the AirOasis 3000 Air Purifier risk-free for 30 days. JCN listeners get $100 off when you order at breathebetterair.com or call 806-477-0322. That's 806-477-0322 and get the best air purifier for the best price at breathebetterair.com.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract.
My name is Van, and I'm 68 years old, and I live in Vermont. In the spring of 2003, I started to have problems with my heart. It felt like my heart was pounding, made me feel breathless. I tried many different things to try to get some help for myself. Nothing did anything.
Heart and Body Extract is very powerful, very effective, and works quickly.
I saw one of Sharon's ads and ordered Heart and Body Extract. I noticed a difference quickly, within days. The episodes became less frequent, and by a month had completely vanished.
Usually you find a 30-day or 60-day guarantee. Heart and Body Extract comes with a lifetime 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. Call 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
All right, we've only got him for this segment and the little 5-minute segment at the start of the hour. Then we're getting into all the world news and economic news and Bill Clinton campaigning against Rand Paul in Kentucky. It's just incredible. The riots all over Europe, France ground to a halt. But I'm going to fire out a lot of quick questions now here at Colonel Shaffer with his new book out, Dark Heart, Operation Dark Heart. Colonel, first, I admire and respect your courage. I know you've been persecuted for telling the truth. And I appreciate you, assessing what's in plain view and is self-evident about this failed war that we're now going into the 10th year of. Looking at this situation and looking at all the other things that are happening around the world, just recapping, where do you see this ending?
Well, the problem is I think we've been so distracted with the Iraq and Middle East issues relating to Iraq and that sort of thing. I don't think we're actually postured to look at the future very well. There's some global competitors we have to start thinking about, and the Chinese, I think in particular, are someone who are going to be our friends as long as we continue to make our payments. We've got some huge debt with them, which if we can't make the payments, I think they become very mafia-like. And I think one of the things we've neglected to watch carefully, and this is something I actually studied back in the 90s, the Chinese as a country, as the government of China, have the desire to become essentially the superpower of the Pacific Rim. And we have two allies in particular, besides the Japanese in particular and the South Koreans. There's two other allies in that area the Australians and New Zealand folks, the Kiwi, who are concerned about what's going to happen should the Chinese become much more dominant in that region. And I think that's one of the things we have to be.
Well, they've already, as you know, taken over most of the mining for rare earth minerals that are key to missiles, cell phones, and China has announced they are cutting back on rare earth minerals to the United States. And so that means we won't be able to make stuff here because they've been smart. They've gone out in Africa and Australia and Latin America and South Texas and the Rockies, wherever you can find these, and they've literally created a 94% global monopoly over this. They own most our debt. I mean, Washington has completely destroyed this country's security.
And I think we've, because of our own negligence, have not been studying this as much as we should and trying to understand how to play this as a chess game, not as a checkers game. So I think that's where we have some real problems coming up over the next 10 to 15 years. And I think our kids, God bless them, will have to be dealing with this much more directly than we did. And I think it's sad that we're going to leave this legacy for them to deal with.
Well, the elites of this country made deals with the communist Chinese to accelerate and consolidate wealth, and now we're going to pay big time. What's your take on just the state of the banking situation and the mortgage corruption and just, I mean, it's like Washington is just filled with scum.
Right, and I think that's a problem. We have people who don't have a lot of vision or integrity, and I think that translates badly for the larger country. And I think you're about to see some of that over the next few weeks in the elections coming up. I think there's going to be a backlash to a lot of the status quo. And Alex, this is one of those things that just as a microcosm, I think everybody has to have a certain level of integrity and self-correction inside of them. Anytime I ran an operation, I had a very simple test. I had the Ed Bradley test and the Joe Sixpack test. I'm not saying that as a pejorative. I just wanted to explain it real quick. Whatever operation I was running, I would always think in my head, if Ed Bradley showed up at my doorstep, would I be able to answer his questions correctly and honestly and still look good on 60 Minutes? That was one of my, believe it or not, that was one of my things. And secondly, would Joe Sixpack, would some individual, male or female, doesn't matter, in the Midwest approve of my use of his or her taxpayer dollars? And I think these are very, very simple, but I think, good rules to go by. So if I couldn't honestly, say that if my actions were related in some way to answering an affirmative one of those two questions, then I figured that I shouldn't be doing it.
Wow, that's a simple but succinct way of doing it. It makes a lot of sense. We're going to have 5 more minutes with you on the other side. I want to get a little bit more into the book and some of the other things you can now talk about. So just a few key points on that, some bullet points. And then I want to briefly ask you about cybersecurity and the Stuxnet worm. On the other side, we'll be back in 70 seconds with the third hour. Then Bob Chapman will be coming on, Infowars.com.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lungs system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lungs system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lungs system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lungs system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
So, Israel has all but admitted that they launched the Stuxnet worm. Now Homeland Security says we've got to have the Pentagon basically take the web over and be able to shut it down to protect it because of Stuxnet. What's your take on this move to try to censor the web that the White House technologies are? No, that's Holdren. The White House regulations are, Cass Sunstein and others have called for. Are you concerned about all these different police state developments here?
Oh, absolutely. I think the Internet has functioned well by the fact that it has been left as minimally touched by the government as possible. I mean, I think some initial things, and this came out, as your listeners probably know, out of the DARPA project relating to sharing information years ago, and then, kind of took on a life of its own. It is an organic organism, and like anything that is organic, it should be allowed to grow and transmute itself as necessary. Any government control, or what they're proposing here, the idea of, like you said, we need to be able to shut it down to protect it, I think is but one more control thing that the government should not have. Anyone who studies the net at a given time, you can shut down parts of it as necessary. The idea of taking over the whole thing is just, it's a bit frightening. So there's no reason ever to think about taking over the whole thing, because there are so many background services, there's communications going on constantly, and the telecommunications infrastructure of this country now depends on the Internet. There's nothing that happens today that is not somehow Internet related. So the moment the government determines that they want to shut down everything, they would create, literally, Alex, huge chaos in this country by essentially just turning off the spigot.
And by creating the mechanism to be able to do it, that adds the problem of somebody taking it over and doing it, and it creates technicians and experts that know how to do it who could sell that knowledge.
Right, exactly. So I think we're much better off leaving it diffuse, leaving it as an organic kind of growing entity that a lot of people have access to, but no one organization owns. It reminds me of a while back when the French wanted to actually make sure that their whole Internet was only done in the French language, which to me was loony. The whole idea here is free exchange of information, ideas, and commerce. So again, I don't think the government in any form should be the one trying to determine how, to control it. I think there are elements within. Sure. Within the Internet, the government has the right to control their own backbone. There's SIPRNet, NIPRNet. There's all these things which run, as sub.
Yeah, and they lie and say that that stuff's open to these worms. Well, these worms have to be injected internally. Right. Well, we're almost out of time, but clearly the system is corrupt by and large. It's scared of the people waking up, and that's why they're wanting to do this. OperationDarkHeart.com. Promise me that in the next few months you'll come back on to get more into Dark Heart, because Colonel, I could talk to you all day. Just such a great mind. But in the last minute and a half, anything else people should know about Operation Dark Heart?
Well, the summary of the book, and I encourage them to pick it up, is it really does talk about the tipping point in Afghanistan. I think we had a pretty good idea of what we needed to do to basically just let things happen. And then things changed dramatically in 2003. And I actually, in the book, there's a confrontation between General Barno, the then commander of forces, and of course I was a major at the time, so obviously I was going to lose that battle. But I try to point out to him the insurgency's coming, and we need to take action to prevent it or limit it. And his answer was, well, I really don't care. Is what he basically said, and we're going to do things my way, and that resulted in the course which we are currently on, relating to nation building, rather than trying to allow the Afghan people to determine their own future. And that's where I argue the tipping point came. And it reads like a novel, so I think your listeners will enjoy it as well as be educated by it. So,
OperationDarkHeart.com. We have links to it up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Colonel, good luck, Godspeed, and I appreciate you having the courage to speak out.
Thank you, sir.
All right, there he goes. Amazing interview with Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Shaffer. Coming up, Bob Chapman on a host of issues. We're not going to